ESPN's Stephen A. Smith absolutely goes off on Russell Wilson and rips him apart and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, Stephen A. Smith, he's never been one to hold back his thoughts and opinions, especially on the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is his favorite team. And now, just recently, he went off on Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers for their poor performances in the preseason thus far. Here's what Stephen A. Smith had to say about it. Here's his quote. "I'm gonna say it on national television. Russell Wilson, you're beginning to piss me off. Somebody gotta say it, so I'm gonna say it. You stunk last year. You were paid $37.8 million to go away. The Denver Broncos is willing to eat nearly $38 million to get rid of you. And now you're sitting there fighting for a starting job with Justin Fields. You ain't fighting for no starting job with Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or somebody. It's Justin Fields you're fighting for a job with. And he is sitting there with some smile on his face talking about everybody just gotta relax. You ain't no Aaron Rodgers." End quote. There's more quotes I'm going to read, but before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like the video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, his comments didn't just end there. He continued to go off and rip apart Russell Wilson. Here's another quote. "The only good thing that you brought to Denver was Sierra. That was it. And he just stopped it. All of this smiling and going off and getting along and all of this other stuff, I don't want to hear that stuff from him." End quote on that. But he continued going off when looking back at his previous comments the days before. This is what he had to say, going even further. Basically saying, "Let me tell you something right now. The Steelers looked awful offensively. They looked absolutely awful. I'm very, very disgusted with what I saw. Let's get that out of the way first. Secondly, I get where Shannon Sharpe is coming from in terms of starting Russell Wilson. That was certainly my thought process. I'm not sure how sold I am on it right now. I understand he had a calf injury and stuff like that. I get the reality. But here's the reality that resonates with me. I'm thinking about the fact that you took 3 sacks. You're still holding the ball a little bit too long. Why are those things relevant? Well, it's because that's why Sean Payton couldn't stand them. That's why Sean Payton ran him out of Denver. I don't want to ever, and I've never said this before because I believe in Mike Tomlin so much, but the Steelers has got last place written all over them. Shea, they got last place written all over them. I don't see how they can get out of this." End quote on that. So, Stephen A. Smith so far has just ripped apart Russell Wilson, ripped apart the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he continued. He said this even more. This was about Russell Wilson if they could land Brandon Aiyuk. "I'm not sold on Russell Wilson any longer. I think there's been a great drop-off over the last few years. Now, he may show us something different, and I think here's what's going to help Russell Wilson. If the Steelers get their hands on Brandon Aiyuk, because of his route running ability, his ability to catch the ball in between the numbers to make things happen after the catch, combined with George Pickens, who's the only person who had more yards per reception than Brandon Aiyuk. I'm going to look at it from that standpoint, and I'm going to say, okay, Russell Wilson can thrive. But," end quote, but if Stephen A. Smith said if they do not land Brandon Aiyuk, this is what he believes. "I believe he has lost a step. I believe he has lost the zip. I believe that Justin Fields is on the come up and he will be able to capitalize off of that more so than Russell Wilson at this point, this stage of his career." End quotes. So that's enough with all the quotes. This is everything Stephen A. Smith has said about Russell Wilson within the last week, ripping him apart and also talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers of how he's going to hold them back, how they're probably going to be last place in the division and things like that. So looking at through everything that Stephen A. Smith said about Russell Wilson, and is it true? Is some of it true? Yes. Is some of it overdone? Yes. You look at the first part where he's basically saying that you're beginning to piss me off. He's just being a great leader. That's what he's doing. Leadership. Being a captain of the team. being someone who's going to go in the media after the game and take some blame and say everything is going to be okay. What's he supposed to do after a game, especially in the preseason? What's he supposed to do? Go in there and be like, nope, the season is over. We played terribly. The season is over. It's just the preseason. But hey, the rest of the season doesn't matter because we did terribly against the Bills in the preseason. We have no chance of doing anything this season. It's over. This offense sucks. Is that what he's supposed to do? No. He's supposed to go in there, try to calm everything down, and be the leader of this team and bring this group together and not give it national media attention or give it media attention in general. And it looks like Stephen A. Smith just didn't like how Russell Wilson handled that, and then he went off and blasted him, basically saying, hey, don't do that, and things like that. So I guess Russell Wilson, he's in the bad light in Stephen A. Smith's eyes, which makes sense because he sees Justin Fields as someone who's probably a better player at this point of his career. He probably wants him to start. All the ESPN guys basically want Justin Fields to start because he's more flashy and everything like that. And you could just tell by the way that they talk about Justin Fields compared to Russell Wilson. And obviously Stephen A. Smith feels the exact same way, which is understandable because Justin Fields has been the better quarterback this far throughout training camp, throughout the preseason. I've said this many times. If this was a true quarterback competition and it started from scratch and you had one player versus another player and one player basically missed the entire training camp or being limited throughout the entire training camp, played poorly in the preseason, and the other guy played great during the training camp and then played decent in preseason, obviously that guy would win, and that guy is Justin Fields. So if this was truly a quarterback competition for this season alone, it would go to Justin Fields. But no, Mike Tomlin has said that Russell Wilson is still in pole position. So it's not truly a quarterback competition. It's more so going with a veteran guy and maybe the younger guy taking over throughout the season or down the road. So Stephen A. Smith, he continued to rip apart Russell Wilson. The part that he talks about Denver and how the only great thing he's done is brought Sierra to them, that was overboard. There's no need to go that direction. But the part where he's talking about the Brandon Aiyuk thing as well, about how he could help revive Russell Wilson's career, I believe that's true. Because if you did bring in another guy who's really great after the catch, someone who could run after catch, someone who's great getting the ball down the field, route runner, in Brandon Aiyuk, adding alongside George Pickens, it makes life easier for Russell Wilson to throw the ball short and someone to take it long and basically just help his stats, help him as a quarterback. And you don't really have to make tight throws if someone is always open. So that Brandon Aiyuk situation is true, I believe, in which Stephen A. Smith said. And the part where he says that if Brandon Aiyuk doesn't come to the Steelers, I think Justin Fields would be the better fit. And that's what he said too. Because Justin Fields is going to make it easier for everyone else in the quarterback or the offensive line room. And when something doesn't go right in terms of the offensive line breakdown, Russell Wilson can't make something happen out of nothing anymore. But Justin Fields can. And that's basically what Stephen A. Smith is saying about if Brandon Aiyuk doesn't come to the Steelers, Justin Fields would be the better fit. The last thing I want to talk about through the Pittsburgh Steelers and the comments made by Stephen A. Smith is him saying that the Steelers have last place written all over them in this division. Is that true? Maybe. This division is probably the best division in football. It has the Baltimore Ravens. It has the Cincinnati Bengals. It has the Cleveland Browns. And obviously the Steelers. So you look at this division, it's the best in football. And the Steelers have a very tough schedule. Could they be dead last? Maybe. Maybe they can. But are they going to be dead last? No. That has not happened. When has the Steelers ever come last place in this division? Ever? Maybe not. Or has it been a very long time? Yeah. I can't remember if they've been last place. Maybe last place was in the 1900s. So who knows? So you look at this and you look at the Steelers. Are they ever last place? No. So why would it start now? Yes, the Cleveland Browns are getting better. But at the same time, it's the Cleveland Browns. Also, the Cincinnati Bengals. It's the Cincinnati Bengals at the end of the day. Really, the only competition, I believe, is going to be the Ravens. Be it truly for that number one spot. Other than that, I think second place, third place, fourth place in the division is wide open. The Ravens seem to be good every single year, and they have Lamar Jackson, obviously MVP winning quarterback, the added Derrick Henry, they have great defense, everything like that. I believe second place is the one that's really up for grabs, and it's anyone's game. So the Pittsburgh Steelers being last place, I just don't see it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about this topic and just Stephen A. Smith ripping apart Russell Wilson, saying all these things about him and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is any of it true? Do you agree with him? Do you not agree with him? Do you agree with some of it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Did he go too far? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers, highlights, analysis, news, updates, reports, everything like that. Anything you could think of or that you wanted covered for your Pittsburgh Steelers, I do on this channel. So subscribe, turn on notifications. Until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.